Well, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Have you been watching the DNC at all?
I watched a little bit of it last night, but mostly was on the road yesterday and then got home a little bit late, so I haven't been able to see everything. Look, it's their convention. Certainly hope that it's safe. I know they've been disrupted by protesters a little bit, but we're going to continue to have our debate and get our message out there that if we reelect Donald Trump, we can have peace and prosperity. And Kamala Harris's policies have led to rising inflation and more chaos across the world.
So we're seeing possibly a little bit of momentum on the Harris-Walz campaign. They might get a bump after the DNC. How are Republicans working to mitigate that?
Look, I think we just have to tell the American people the truth, right? This is a very simple campaign. It's what do you want? Do you want to be better off after 4 years of President Trump's leadership, or do you want the Harris record of higher inflation and less stability all over the world? In some ways, it's very simple, right? We've never had a presidential election like this where you have 4 years of one person's policies compared to 4 years of another person's policies. And I'd ask people, were you better off after 4 years of Donald Trump's leadership? I think most Americans would say yes. Are you better off after 4 years of Kamala Harris's leadership? I think most Americans would say no, right? Grocery prices are 20% higher. Electricity is 35% higher. Gas is 45% higher. We could have an economy that unleashed prosperity and drove down prices for normal Americans. We just have to get back to smarter leadership.
So have you and Governor Walz on the ticket. How do you win the Midwest here?
Well, look, the Midwest is so important. And obviously, I'm a Midwesterner at heart, spent most of my life in the state of Ohio and love Michigan, love Pennsylvania, love Wisconsin. That's why we're here in Wisconsin today. I think it's my fourth trip to Wisconsin since I became the VP nominee. So I think that what is a little bit different about the industrial Midwest compared to, say Arizona, Georgia, some of these other battleground states is in the Midwest, we really believe in the importance of American manufacturing. And if you look at the 16 years before Donald Trump was president, America lost 60,000 factories, and that hurt especially in the Wisconsin and the Pennsylvanias of the world. We really believe that we can rebuild American manufacturing. We should make more stuff in America. We should do it with Wisconsin workers. And I think if we have smarter policies, we'll do just that.
So we've seen perhaps a little bit of a critique, kind of that yard sign politics. You have the I back the blue and then the I'm voting with the felon.
Of course.
For voters still trying to make up their minds, how would you persuade them that you are the right law and order ticket?
Well, I think just go back. I mean, we're sitting here in Kenosha, right? And if you remember the riots of Kenosha in 2020, Donald Trump affirmatively reached out and offered federal assistance. And of course, it took a couple of days, but eventually the governor accepted that federal assistance, and it made Kenosha safer. If you talk to law enforcement officials, you talk to police officers, whether the rank and file or the leadership, they'll tell you that America just had a much more pro-police set of policies when Donald Trump was president. And look, I grew up in a poor family. I know very, very importantly that if the police aren't empowered to do their job, it is often the kids in the poorest neighborhoods who lose access to public safety. We just have to get back to common sense police policy, make our police feel supported, give them the pay and benefits they need, and actually make it a little bit easier for them to do their job. If we do that, we're going to have safer streets here in Kenosha and everywhere else.